and welcome back to Mind Your Venture. I hope you all have been having a wonderful week, and I know that the price of silver is pretty much stabilized right around the $32 per ounce price, and gold is up there. It's nearly 100 to 1 on the gold silver ratio. And like always, I encourage you to keep on stacking, keep on buying that silver. And today I had the pleasure of taking my daughter with me over to the coin store. She came to visit my wife and I for a few weeks. And on my regular visit to my coin store, I took her with me. And I spent a little bit more than I normally do. And that's because I had my daughter with me. And if you have kids out there and you're a dad and you have daughters, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You always end up spending a little bit more money every time you go and do something. So I ended up letting her pick out one of these here. So as you can see, this is a peace dollar. And I let her go ahead and pick one out, and I bought it for her. And I also let her pick out these here as well. So I think that's upside down. I do that all the time. So an orca. And so when she was asking about the spots and stuff that are on here, and I explained to her that's spotting, milk spotting, as I know it. And, you know, we got a few more coins and rounds that we picked up today. So some very nice ones, and I did not have any of these particular ones while we were there. She chose these ones, and I told her I'd like to put these in my stack. So she went ahead and picked these ones out for the ones that she liked the most. So I went ahead and made the purchase on these ones here. So it was nice to be able to take my daughter in, because I really try to encourage the younger generation to get out there and stack silver and to learn about how money works and learn about investing and watching how when you put your money into something, it goes up and down, and you can see the trends and you can watch what it does and learn about how money works and how investing works. Now, like I've always said, I do not consider silver to be an investment. And I always have said that I use my silver and my precious metals as my savings account. And that's for many reasons. I know there's people out there that say that they collect silver and they stack silver because when they have money in their pocket, they burn through it. And it's a great way for them to have a savings account, because they have to go find a place to sell it, and to get the money for it, they just can't go and spend it at the store and make purchases with it. So it is a great savings account when it comes to that, because it does better than most other savings accounts that only give you 1%, maybe up to 4 or 5% if you find a really good one on a limited amount of money. But silver always holds its value really well. And I usually tell people as well to buy a certain amount of silver every week, a dollar amount of silver, not a amount of ounces. And there's reasons for that. When the price of silver is high and you have a certain amount of money you're spending on silver, currently silver is at $32.50, so it's going to cost you $33 to $34 if you can find a really good place to buy silver. You can usually get it about a dollar, $1.50 over spot. And that's what I encourage people to do. Try to buy your silver less than $2 over spot if at all possible. And you can find some special deals out there to where you can get silver at spot value. And if you can do that, that is an amazing way to go as well. But if you go in and you spend $32 now on silver, and then when silver drops down to 15, if it ever does go back down to 15, I would never encourage anybody to just stop because you lost a bunch of money. I would encourage people to continue to spend that $32 or $33 and continue to buy 2 ounces of silver at that time, because you can buy twice as much with the $30. When that silver goes back up, you've now made 100% on everything that you bought at 15. right? So that's a way that you can learn how to invest, learn how money works, learn how even individual stocks work. When you buy one, you can watch how it goes up and down. And when that price drops where you can buy two, you can do the same thing in the stock market. But the difference between the two is in the stock market, when you buy something at 15, it could end up being $0. And you will not have that issue with silver or with gold. Gold and silver are precious metals. And I know that silver is used in a lot of products, but at the end of it all, when you buy silver, it'll always be worth what it's worth. It'll never drop to zero because it is a precious metal. And in its history, from as far back as, even in biblical times, silver and gold were precious metals then and used for currency for buying and selling. And you can do the same today in some aspects, but more today, it is used as a great way to save money. And I encourage people to do so as a savings account and learn how it works and watch how it grows, watch how it loses money and gains money as you make the purchases. And I do encourage you to keep track of how much you paid for it and always watch on how much it's worth and use your way that you look at it as it is. If you bought it today and the spot price was $32.50, but you paid $33.50, then that's how much you paid for it, was $33.50. And when you go to sell it, that comes into play because when you buy it, they charge you a premium. And that's how these coin stores stay in business. And that's how you can go into those stores and they always have stuff there, is because they buy and sell all the time. Now, if you go to a great coin store like today, when my daughter picked up this here, now this, he bought some today for $24 when they came in. And I've been paying about $26 for these, and he did sell me the one for my daughter at $26, right? So that's pretty fair pricing when it comes to silver dollars. They are 70+% silver content in them. And at the end of the day, everybody recognizes constitutional silver, right? It's 70% silver, and it's a great way to start off. If you didn't have $30 to go spend, or if all you had was $30 to go spend, if you can find a place that'll sell you silver dollars for around the $26 to $27 mark, that's a pretty good deal for getting silver. And you're paying a little bit of a premium on that, but it will always be worth what it's worth for silver content. So if I was to go sell these today, because silver is at $32, like I said, he was only paying $24 for these and selling them for $26. So that's how it works when you go and you try to buy and sell. That's why I tell people that buying silver is a long-term thing that you should be doing, stacking over time. And I recently watched a really, really good video on how much silver should you have. And that was by Mr. Investor. Very good channel. I encourage you guys to go and check out some of the stuff that he has and kind of take a look and see what other people are doing. Now, I know that a lot of people out there, they set goals on stacking, and I had goals a long time ago when I began collecting silver and stacking silver. And I know that when you get a certain amount, it does get pretty heavy and it's kind of hard to move around. And I have purchased some larger pieces that I can just keep stored away, and they're a lot heavier than just, your basic, 1 troy ounce pieces of silver, right? So I do collect all different types. I have fractional, I have 1 ounce, 2 ounce, I have 1 ounce bars, I have 5 ounce bars, I have 10 ounce bars, I have 2 ounce coins, 1 ounce coins. I have a variety of dimes and quarters and half dollars. So I spread my collecting out. And initially, like a lot of people that are not familiar with silver, I started off collecting rounds because they were the cheapest thing that I could get. And it was good because there wasn't a high premium on them because they were just regular Buffalo rounds. After doing some research and watching how things work, I realized that the American Silver Eagle, if you can get it at a good price, was probably the best thing that I could put in my stack here in America. I noticed that whenever people brought them in to sell them, that most of the places were giving them above spot pricing for them. But every time I tried to buy them, they had a pretty high premium on them. But over the years, I have found special deals on them. I've went into some coin stores that just had deals on them, and they were selling them at the same price as the rounds at the time. So I've picked some up doing that. I've went online and found some special deals where places are selling them at spot pricing for a limited amount, and I've bought them there as well. And I've also bought some full tubes over time when I could afford to do so. And I got them through a place where I could get a rebate back on the purchase along with a really good deal on them, and got them at around $1 to $1.50 over spot price for a full tube. So there are things that you can do to increase what you do. And if you watch and understand how things work, it'll teach you a lot about how to keep track of your money, how to invest. And that's what this channel is all about, investing in yourself. And I know I do a lot of videos on silver, and that's one of my main focuses because I'm really honestly trying to reach the younger community, and it's pretty difficult to do so. I run a lot of my stuff on TikTok and some of those other platforms, the short videos, trying to encourage the younger generation to get out there and to start learning how money works. I know that we, as in my age bracket and some of the older people that I know watch my videos and enjoy my videos, I would encourage you to try to encourage the younger generation to learn how to invest their money and learn how to, even getting into silver. It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing to teach the younger generation. I was told when I was in school that when I get older, there will not be a safety net for me. I've been told since I was in middle school that the Social Security will end and people in my generation will not have that to fall back on, even though that we've paid into it our whole entire lives. If it's there for me when I retire, that'll be great. It'll be on top of what I've done to try to hedge myself against not having that safety net. And I've spent my adult life working toward being independent from outside sources when I get old. And silver has helped me along that way greatly over time. And teaching that to the younger generation is super important for us as the generation that had to work through understanding that government has wasted a lot of our money and put us in this situation to where welfare and all these other things have sucked our economy dry. And I know it's not popular to talk about, but that's the reality of it. Our money is not worth what it used to be, and silver and gold are a great way to hedge against our own government finances, their money, the fiat dollar. It's what we live on, and it's what we have to use to survive. But there has to be a way for our younger generation to learn and to understand that our fiat dollar may go away someday, and the money that we have, you have to teach them how to invest and how to grow and how to learn how to invest their money for their future. They may not have the future that some of the older people have now that are collecting their retirement funds, right? And I'm not saying, and I'm not condemning anyone for doing so. If it's available for me when I retire, then I will be more than happy to take it because I've put a lot of money into that program and would love to receive the benefits of it. But like I said, I have been told my entire life that it will not be available to me, and I planned accordingly, right? And I encourage the younger generation to do the same thing. And hopefully you can share my videos with some of the younger generation. There are other ways of investing, and I stay away from a lot of it because a lot of people can't afford to do that. And most people do not have a disposable income. And it took me many, many years of my life to be able to get enough money to where I can jump off and start to explore into other ways of investing my money. And one of them is into real estate. And I've found ways to invest in real estate that do not cost a lot of money. And I can share those, and I will share those on some of my other videos. But silver was a wonderful springboard for me to learn how money works, learn how it goes and has its ups and its downs. There's a lot of people out there that discourage people from getting into silver because it's not an investment. Why are you wasting your money? Why are you putting your money into something that's not going to work for you and not going to grow? Well, I disagree with it in a lot of aspects because there are a lot of people out there that have a hard time saving money. They have a hard time getting enough of it set aside to do something. But when you go and you buy silver and you get these silver rounds and silver coins from other countries, it's a lot easier to collect, and it feels more like you're actually collecting something than spending money. But the reality is, as much money as I've spent on silver, it has given me great returns over the long time. And that's what I'm talking about. I can take all of my silver right now, and if I take it into a coin store, I will absolutely get more money than what I have spent on it over the years. It's the reality of what silver is. And that's why I encourage people to start that journey. I have encouraged both my daughters and their boyfriends to get into silver and start setting aside money every single week and buy some silver with it. A certain amount of money. And I talk about the dollar amount often because it's the best way to do it. Now, if you were to just buy an ounce of silver every single week, you still would come out ahead, but you'd be more ahead if you were to buy twice as much when a market goes down and buy on the high one a week when it's super high. And it equals out over time to where you make more money that way in the long run in investing. Investing is about setting aside a certain amount of your money every single week. And I do talk about 10%. My overall savings, about 10% of my overall savings is in precious metals. So that tells you that the 90% of my overall savings doesn't go into precious metals. Now I have goals for how much I want of silver. I have goals on how much I want for gold. I have goals on how much I want invested in other things that I invest my money in. And if you guys watch my videos long enough, you will hear some of those things. And I encourage you guys out there, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your children, your grandchildren, how important it is to start saving their money. Don't let money be a taboo topic when it comes to talking to your grandkids and your children. Let them know that how important it is for their future to do so. And one of the best ways to do that is to teach them how silver works and how the money that you put into it works over time. Show them and teach them. And as always, keep on stacking, onward and upward.
There once was a man that stacked silver, so he called himself an investor. But the silver he had was not enough, so he stacked it more and more. Soon then the increase comes, shiny, glittery, and in large sums. Now when the stacking's done, he loved it more and more.